looked at quite a bit of stuff related to the UK here on the channel, where to go, things to see. Well, the things I haven't looked at, but I keep getting told about, is Yorkshire, the Dales. So let's go around, be looking at 12 beautiful Yorkshire Dales walks, suggestions for your countryside trip, because I do plan on going over later this year, and I want to see stuff outside of London, you know, because big city, woohoo, yay. Let's get into it.
The Yorkshire Dales is a paradise for walkers and nature lovers. With deep valleys, limestone cliffs, dramatic waterfalls, picturesque villages, and lush greenery, you'll
just in this little bit looks beautiful as all get out.
Have many incredible options for your trip to the countryside.
Hedgehog!
In this video we will show you 12 examples of some of the amazing places you could go for a walk in the Yorkshire Dales National Park and the bordering area of Nidderdale. Our suggestions are based on walks we have enjoyed on our own trips to the Dales. We tried to keep the selection varied in terms of sites and landmarks, so hopefully you will find something that appeals to you. We're going to start our journey up north in Swaledale, which is perhaps a lesser visited part of the Yorkshire Dales National Park. Muker is a fantastic place to start a walk which takes you through gorgeous hay meadows. If you visit in June, you'll be surrounded by a wide variety of colourful wildflowers, such as buttercups, wood cranesbill and pignut. You will also see 18th century cow houses dotted around.
Just looking at the scenery that it's showing, like especially when you got the valley shots, like just absolutely, that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And everything is so green. That's me, any video highlighting any part of the UK, England, Scotland, doesn't matter. Like any video I've seen that highlights anything to do with the natural beauty, it's so green. And over here, things are green, but like it's a different kind of green. Like you have to take and go, I gotta stop saying like so much in this video. You have to go to certain parts of the country at certain times of the year to get some scenery as green as what you see just in natural. I don't know if it's all during summertime. There, you know, that'd be great tourists like, hey, come over here, it's all green, blah blah blah. I don't know if it's like that, just that, you know, if they're just shooting this stuff during the spring and summers, or if it's just naturally always just green there. But it's all the shots are always beautiful.
These old barns were used to shelter cows in the winter and store hay harvested from the surrounding meadows. While in the area, we really enjoyed a 6-mile circular route from Muker to the charming village of Keld. As part of this walk, you can see Crackpot Hall, which is a 17th century abandoned farmhouse. Not only can you explore the crumbling ruins, but this spot has amazing far-stretching views over the valley. You will also see several waterfalls on this route. If you are up for a bit more of a challenge, then don't miss Kiston Foss. It takes a little bit more effort to get to than the others, but you'll be rewarded with a stunning set of falls that feels almost hidden away in a wooded gorge.
I've found that the stuff you have to hike for is some of the more beautiful stuff that you could see, and most time is well worth the effort. Like, been to the mountains in Tennessee, and we've hiked and we've found waterfalls, or we've hiked to waterfalls, or to the tops of, I would say tops of mountains, but normally you're in a national park area. But there are places like you take and hike to, and you just see, you go from wooded to all of a sudden you've got this creek or a river. Being in Jamaica, hiking up an actual, and they called it a waterfall, but it looked like a stream, but it was definitely, there's multiple levels to it. So technically it was a waterfall, but just natural beauty, I think, is unmatched if you take the time, and it requires a little bit of walk.
Overall, I would say this walk is moderately difficult, especially if you take the steep and rocky path down to Kiston Foss. This has to be one of my favourite walks in the Yorkshire Dales so far, so I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for somewhere to go in the northern part of the national park.
It's so pretty. Oh, it's a horsey.
For our next couple of walks, we're going to go into Wensleydale, which is not only famous for its delicious cheese, which we'll come to shortly, but also for its impressive waterfalls.
Oh my god.
If you're heading to Wensleydale
gorgeous
from Swaledale, you could go via Buttertubs Pass, which is possibly the most well-known road in the Yorkshire Dales. This incredible road twists and turns across the high moorland and gives you dramatic views over the valley.
Ooh, that is just... What? Oh, bro, I'd see. Yeah, that's definitely going on the list. That's definitely making it onto the list of things to see while I'm there.
And turns across the high moorland and gives you dramatic views over the valley. We would recommend taking this road if you can to reach number 2 on our list, Hawes and Hardraw Falls. In Wensleydale sits the market town of Hawes, where you could take a short walk from the town to see Hardraw Falls.
That's pretty.
With a drop of almost
That's
100 feet, Hardraw Falls
cool.
is known for being England's largest single-drop waterfall. You access the waterfall through the back of the Green Dragon pub, then walk along the river to the fall.
Of course, y'all are gonna have a pub to start up to walk away to see something cool like that. Oh, but that's.
You'll have 2 options for this walk: the easier, flat, low-level walk where you see the waterfall from the bottom, and the high-level route where you go to the top of the waterfall.
So just real quick, it sounds like it would be a lovely day to take a number 1 to. It would be a lovely day to go see the top and then make your way and see the bottom, so you get the full experience all in one go. That sounds like it'd be a lovely day. Like it just, and the fact that you got a pub there, so you can have yourself a little bit of a drink after you come back from seeing the top portion, go out and see the bottom portion, and then go back to the pub and have another drink. It sounds like an dude. Just yeah. Something tells me half of this is going to wind up being on my list of stuff to do while I'm there. I'm about to make a long, long trip. I have a feeling.
As the routes are short, you could do both, so that's what we did. You could also combine your walk with a trip to the famous Wensleydale Creamery. Visit the cafe or restaurant to try some of their famous cheese, pop to the gift shop to take some home with you, or even attend a demonstration to learn more about the making of Wensleydale cheese.
Oh, that's cool. Aysgarth.
Just 9 miles east of Hawes on the River Yore, you'll find Aysgarth Falls, which you may recognise if you've ever seen the classic film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, as this is where the fight scene takes place between Kevin Costner and Little John. Follow an easy woodland path to see the lower, middle and upper falls tumbling over the rocky ledges. There are some parts of the falls where you can sit and relax at the edge and just take it all in. This walk is only around 2 miles long, so if you would like to extend it, there is a popular 6-mile circular walk that combines seeing Aysgarth Falls with the ruins and gardens of Castle Bolton. However, if like us you don't have time for the full 6-mile walk, then you could walk around 20 minutes from Aysgarth Falls to Aysgarth Edwardian Rock Garden. Tucked away at the western end of Aysgarth village, this hidden gem may only be very small, but we think it's worth stopping by if you're in the area.
Basically, you could start in the morning. If you want to make a full day of it, you could start in the morning, go see the falls, and then plan accordingly. And you could do the whole 6-mile trip. Like I said, making a day of this whole thing, right? 6 mile. So you could do the 6-mile route, and you could then choose whether you wanted to go see Rock Garden or Bolton Castle. If you want to, you're feeling frisky, both of them, just make a full, the beauty of this. It seems like it would make for a really good, it'd be a really long day, and you'd probably be really, really tired at the end of it, but a very beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous scenery. That, like I said, I have a feeling most of this video is going to wind up being on places to see while I'm in England.
Commissioned before the First World War by a local landowner, this Grade 2 listed rock garden is like an enchanting walk-through grotto. Explore the twisted paths through the limestone where you'll be surrounded by pretty alpine plants. There's even a tiny stream complete with a trickling waterfall. Next we're heading southwest to one of the most famous destinations in the Yorkshire Dales, the Three Peaks. You could choose to take on the grueling Three Peaks Challenge where you tackle Pennygent, Whernside and Ingleborough. That's 25 miles of clambering up and scrabbling down, all in one day. If that sounds like too much for you, then don't worry, you're not alone. Many people choose to just climb one of the 3 peaks as their walk. The clips you see now were taken from our walk
Oh
up
my God,
Pennygant.
though.
One
Look
of the
at
three
that.
sounds like too much for you, then don't worry, you're not alone. Many people choose
It's the scenery, dude. Now, granted, 25 miles is it's quite the trip, and you're going up and down 3 different spots. That's a very taxing day, and I have a feeling you have to be a little bit fit to try something like that, so you don't kill yourself. You know, just I have the feeling, right? But the scenery on
to
the
just climb
side,
one of the 3 peaks as their walk.
like being able to climb something like that and look out, and that's the view. That's gorgeous, and you could see you could see for just miles.
The clips you see now were taken from our walk up Pennygant. This peak is almost 700 metres high, with the most taxing part of the hike being at the final scramble just before you reach the top, but it's not too difficult and the views from the summit are well worth it. Once you've walked back down, you can take a short detour to Hull Pot, which is a huge collapsed cavern measuring 91 metres long by 18 metres wide and 18 metres deep.
That's
The
crazy.
detour
That's
to Hull
cool.
Pot doesn't take long, and we think it's well worth stopping by as part of your walk. You could also choose to climb Ingleborough, standing at 723 metres high, or Wensleydale, which is 736 metres and the highest summit in Yorkshire. If you decide to hike up Wensleydale, then you could combine your walk with a stop by the Ribblehead Viaduct. This man-made structure is really
That's
impressive, and the
freaking
closer you
cool.
get, the more you can appreciate just how huge the viaduct is.
And that viaduct, it looks like it dates back pretty good ways. But the fact that it's still standing, that's phenomenal. That's cool.
Huge the viaduct is. Our next stop in the Yorkshire Dales is just a few miles down the road at the Ingleton Waterfalls Trail. This amazing 4.5-mile trail leads you through shaded mossy woodland, across wide open countryside, along peaceful bubbling rivers, and of course past multiple spectacular waterfalls. There is so much variation in landscape all within one trail that this is definitely a must-do walk in the Yorkshire Dales. While the magnificent waterfalls are of course the highlight of the walk, you will also pass through some wonderful sections of woodland. On your way round, you'll spot helpful signs to help you identify birds and trees, which are a handy addition and really add to your enjoyment of the walk. As Ingleton Waterfall Trail falls on private land, there is an admission fee of £8 per adult and £4 per child to help with the upkeep of the walk, and we thought it was well worth the price.
And you've got spots here that you can hike and stuff like that, but you got free places, but you've also got places there that you go to either hike or see nature and things. $10, $15 per head. I mean, so yeah, that's $8 an adult and $4 a kid. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's a good price.
Per child to help with the upkeep of the walk, and we thought it was well worth the price. Our next stop is a 4.5-mile circular walk starting at Malham Cove. The iconic curved white cliffs were formed through ice and water erosion at the end of the last ice age. This natural wonder is not only a popular place for walkers and sports climbers, but birdwatchers also flock to Malham Cove to spot the peregrine falcons, which have been nesting at the site since 1993.
That's cool.
Walk to the top of the 70-metre high cliff and be treated with panoramic views across the glorious Yorkshire country.
Again, the views, the greenery. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. I'm sitting here trying to figure in my head, if I was to take and go for 2 weeks, exactly how long do I want to stay go through that? Because all of these places look like they'd be just beautiful, absolutely stunning places to see. I might take and go and look through like place by place the coolest stuff to see and then plan accordingly. Oh, just awesome.
Side. The limestone pavement at the top of Malham Cove is deeply eroded and forms a really unique pattern. Any Harry Potter fans might recognise this from the 7th film, as this is where Harry and Hermione set up camp while they were on their mission to destroy the Horcruxes. The next stop on your walk is Goredale Scar. Follow Goredale Beck through a spectacular gorge where limestone cliffs tower on either side. You then turn the corner to the grand reveal, which, believe me, is a lot more impressive than my rookie camera skills let on.
What?
The final key natural attraction on this walk is Janet's Foss, a small waterfall which carries Gordale Beck over a limestone crop into a deep pool below. The name Janet is a folktale reference to a fairy queen who's thought to inhabit the cave at the rear of the waterfall. The drop pool of Janet's Foss was traditionally used for sheep dipping, which was a festival-like event for the local villagers. Our next walk starts and ends in the idyllic village of Grassington. Not only does this circular walk involve quiet, peaceful stretches of countryside, but you can start or end your walk by exploring Grassington's pretty stone streets, filled with tea rooms, unique shops and pubs. This walk will take you through rolling green hills and the flower-filled Grassington Park Estates meadows.
Oh my god.
Even though we were there just a little bit too early to see the meadows in full bloom, it was still really pretty. Just as with the Muker walk that we showed you earlier, if you time your walk for June, then this is the best time to see the meadows. Once you reach the village of Hebden, you'll follow the peaceful river wharf back towards Grassington. This route will take you towards Ingleton Falls, which is another highlight of this walk. You can cross the bridge and look down to watch the water thundering through the rocks beneath you.
Absolutely stunningly beautiful, man. That's stuff that I would take my family to if we had stuff like that around here. Just, oh, gorgeous. I mean, for this, we have to go for anything that involves. We've got a couple places around here I can go. I mean, we can go to the beaches and stuff like that, but to see sites that's you got more greenery, maybe fewer people outside of towns and things of that nature, but just natural beauty. You have to almost go upstate because you got the rolling hills, or you got the foothills that lead to the mountains just before you cross the Tennessee state line. But that's, oh, if we had stuff like this within driving distance, and I say driving distance, 2 hours, 3 hours, it's not a long drive, but you basically have to stay overnight and make a full day of it. It's just no two ways about it. All right, so, and that costs money. This is just, it's gorgeous.
Number 8 on our list is Bolton Abbey Estate. It's worth visiting the estate to explore the ruins of the priory alone. After being gifted the land in 1154, the Augustinian canons lived and worshipped here until the priory was closed in the 1539 dissolution of the monasteries. However, as the canons had pastoral responsibilities in the surrounding community and it was the only church in the area, they were able to preserve the nave, and the church still thrives today.
That's 11 something until 1538, and it's still just that much of a, what? That is insane.
If you would like to go for a walk after viewing the priory, then you have several different options for trails around the estate. There will be different distances, difficulties and terrains available, so make sure you check the Bolton Abbey website to decide which walk you would like to do. If you choose a woodland nature trail, then you can stop by the Ferocious Strid, which some say is one of the most dangerous stretches of river in the world. While I don't know how accurate this claim is, you do have to be very careful while admiring the crashing swell.
I'll just say this, just looking at it, if you were to try to go kayaking or something like that, it's very narrow, and then the way that the water is taken and churning, you get pulled under, there's a good chance you ain't coming back up off that. If you don't, and that's if you don't get bashed in the head by a rock as you go under.
Swirling waters of the Strid. The reason the Strid is so dangerous is because the river is pushed through a narrow gap, resulting in deep, fast-flowing water with strong undercurrents, hidden caves and undercuts rocky edges. There are also different events and activities held throughout the year at Bolton Abbey. For example, on our most recent visit there was the Welly Walk. This trail is particularly fun for families with children and involves tackling different obstacles such as stepping stones, nets, beams, ropes and tunnels. If you book before the day of your visit, then admission to Bolton Abbey Estate is currently £10 per vehicle, not per person, and includes parking. If you wait until the day of your visit, then admission is a couple of pounds higher.
But still, that's affordable though.
Next, we're heading to the tranquil Swinsty and Fewston Reservoir, which sits on the southern side of the Nidderdale area of outstanding natural beauty. With flat terrain and well-maintained paths, the Swinsty and Fewston Reservoir Loop is ideal if you're looking for a fairly easy walk.
How's the fish in there? I bet there's probably some tasty fish in there.
Full loop is a little over 7 miles long, although you could just walk the perimeter of one of the 2 reservoirs if you were looking for something a little shorter. We really enjoyed the views across the reservoir, the paths taking you between the tall green pine trees, and the moments where we saw a flock of what I think might have been whooper swans taking flight. Number 10 is Brimham Rocks, which is managed by the National Trust. This area is filled with amazing giant rock formations that were created over 100 million years before the first dinosaurs even existed. People used to think that these rocks were made by the Druids, but now we know they were naturally formed. Over time, the ice, wind and rain sculpted these rocks into really interesting shapes, and a lot of these formations have been given nicknames based on what they look like.
That looks cool.
I'll show you a few examples. There's the Idol Rock, which is a huge rock that has somehow been balancing on a much smaller rock for the last 10,000 years. There's Druid's Writing Desk, which kind of looks like E.T. There's the Dancing Bear, or is it a begging dog? And then there's Lover's Leap. Supposedly there was a couple, Edwin and Julia, who were madly in love. But Julia's dad wasn't having any of it and said they couldn't see each other anymore, so the couple jumped off the rock together. However, rather than plummeting to their death, they floated to the ground.
I love how old tales and stuff like that always involve some form of there's some kind of magic involved, or instead of plummeting to the death, they just floated down. Apparently, one of those mages, one of those druids, took and put a fall slow or a feather spell on them as they fell.
Brimham Rocks is a large site, so you could spend a few hours scrabbling around and exploring if you like. However, there are several options for other walking routes in the area.
The bat!
If you're looking for a longer walk, then you could follow
beautiful.
an 8-mile circular route between Brimham Rocks and the picturesque market town of Paisley Bridge. You could break up your walk with a browse of the high street, which is full of independent shops, including the oldest sweet shop in the world. As you explore,
cool.
Keep your eyes peeled for plaques, as they will help you learn more about the history of the town. 7 miles up the road from Brimham Rocks, you will find another National Trust property and designated World Heritage Site, Fountains Abbey and Studley Royal Water Garden. Dating back to 1132, this is one of the largest Cistercian monasteries in England. Fountains Abbey was founded by 12 monks who became fed up of the extravagant lifestyles of the other monks in York and were looking to live a more simple life elsewhere. Through wool production, lead mining, cattle rearing, horse breeding and stone quarrying, Fountains Abbey became one of the wealthiest monasteries in England before it was closed down by Henry VIII. After walking the grounds of the ruined abbey, stroll along the river to the 18th century Studley Royal Water Garden.
That is
Walk by
beautiful.
elegant waterways dotted with classical statues and search for follies around the garden.
See, here in the U.S., kids can't be shown sculptures like that anymore in the classroom. Doesn't matter if it's Renaissance artists or when they were done, but that's now considered pornography, and it's not history or nothing like that. No, it's tasteless pornography, because people are stupid as hell.
Walk by elegant waterways dotted with classical statues and search for follies around the garden. Explore the woodland, admire the views, and don't miss walking through the dark serpentine tunnel.
So I'm just going to say this right now, just watching this far along, Muker, the Hawes and Hardraw Force, I don't know, probably the Falls and Rock Garden, at least one of the peaks, Grassington, Bolton Abbey, and then this as well. This looks like it'd be really cool. The Fountains Abbey. Like, these definitely I might have to put on my list, because I might have to take, I guess, multiple trips, more than likely, just so I can see kind of these across multiple trips or something, because Jesus Christ, this all looks so pretty and so cool. And for me, the thing here is, like, we have history, but our history doesn't reach back like the history over in England. And we've got beauty, but we're so spread out, you may as well fly to another country to see something, because Jesus, if you're going to spend 2 days in a vehicle to go see something, Because that's how, 2-3 days from where I live, it would be 3 days worth of driving just to get over to California. So it'd be like 2 days driving to go see my brother in Colorado. So it'd be, yeah, yeah. Might as well just fly.
Admission is free to National Trust and English Heritage members, otherwise the cost is £17 per adult and £8.50 per child, although there are group and family tickets available which could make your trip a little bit cheaper. Now, if you're looking for something with a bit of an unusual story for your walk, then Druid's Temple could be a good option for you. Set in the woodland of Swinton Bivouac on the edge of Nidderdale, you will find the strange folly known as Druid's Temple. While the structure does look like an ancient monument, it was actually built in 1820 on the orders of the estate owner William Danby. He paid local workers affected by an economic depression to build the folly as a way to help tackle unemployment. Not only did Danby design the folly, but he then hired a hermit to live there for 7 years. Unsurprisingly, nobody lasted for the full 7 years. The longest anybody managed to remain there was a still pretty impressive 4.5 years. Druid's Temple is around 100 feet long, consisting of looming stone standing at over 10 feet high.
So it was constructed in the 1800s, but the fact that the guy paid local peoples to use it as a way to combat unemployment, so he's looking out for the people in the community. That's awesome. I mean, that's a really cool story, because you hear something like Druid's Temple and you think back to King Arthur days and stuff of that nature. But no, 1800s, and that's really, really cool.
The temple is around 100 feet long, consisting of looming stone standing at over 10 feet high. Towards the back of the stone circle, you will see a sacrificial altar and a stone table in front of a dark cave. Not only is the folly itself interesting to see, but it is surrounded by lush woodland, so there are plenty of paths for you to follow to extend your walk. While you explore the area, don't miss this amazing vantage point just past this particularly eerie looking stone structure, where you will be treated to a far-reaching view over Leighton Reservoir.
That's cool. That's beautiful.
Well, that's it for our 12 suggestions of places to walk in the Yorkshire Dales. Of course, this list only really scratches the surface of this breathtaking part of the country, but I hope if you're new to the Yorkshire Dales, then it will have at least helped get you started.
So I've already told people that know that I'm coming that I want to see places outside of London. I do want to see Yorkshire. And this right here is just, I think more Americans, before they plan trips and stuff like that, you should find videos like this so you're not falling into the same tourist trap that everybody else does. And this just shows such a broad array of just natural beauty. If you watch this and you're an American and you don't want to go see any of this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. I've got at least 4 places, at least on my first trip, I want to see. So I would have to take multiple days, and if I'm only able to take and stay for 2 weeks, almost a full week would be spent doing stuff like this. Which, to be honest with you, I'll be fine with, because it's just, again, the beauty, the natural beauty, along with historical stuff mixed in, just absolutely gorgeous. So I definitely enjoyed this, and I've got places now to put on my trip to the UK. It's just, so I might have to figure out the timing and how many days I probably need to add to see certain things to make sure I can catch as much as possible, because, oh my God. And this is just one place, there's not even everything to see. They said scratching the surface. What? So wow. All right, cool. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know I did. Absolutely beautiful. I love seeing stuff like this, and I cannot wait to experience it myself. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.